I am making my own couch out of maple wood because it's one of the most non-toxic materials that I could research and find that was non-toxic. It's a hardwood. It's my first time working with hardwood, so it's been an adventure. This is the earliest parts of the woodwork that I did. I just had to cut all the pieces to 6 feet in length. Well, a little bit longer than 6 feet. I decided to make it a little longer. And in this part, I started laying all the pieces on the ground to see where I would put each piece and kind of like do an early like fit to see how it would all go together. I was also checking for if the tops of the wood would look better on one side or the other, so I wanted to decide which side was gonna be looking up and which one was going to be looking down, so that it would look the prettiest on the face that was going to be seen by people. I know, however, that it's in the end going to be covered by a cushion, because the intention is to have the platform and the cushion. I'm going to add a rail for the back as well. Kind of like a minimalist couch design. It's basically just kind of like a slab. It's gonna have 3 supports. It's this one, and then the other 2 over there. Over here, I guess like you're gonna see the pieces as I'm working on it. But now I'm like, the updates with this is that I got the legs. I tried to search for like alternatives, but like for the height and sturdiness that I needed, I just ended up going for these metal ones that I got from an online mass retailer. And like I actually ran out of wood because I miscalculated the wood that I needed. I kind of triple checked to make sure that everything was gonna be okay, but once the wood arrived, turns out that like 8 inches actually measured 7, because they cut it 8 inches, but then they sand it down to make it smooth. So instead of like 8 inches, I got 7. It measured like 7¼ inch, and instead of like 1 inch thickness, it measured like 3/4 inches. So I just kind of like had to make do with what I had and see how I would see what to do about it. And I just kind of decided to like repivot from there. I don't know what's the right word, but anyway, I just decided, okay, this is what I have. This is the current measurements, and knowing now the right measurements, because there's like, it was my fault for not checking the website properly of when I bought wood from this other home renovations like retailer. Everyone probably knows it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But on the website, there's like the measurements that they tell you this thing has, and then nominal. So this is all accounted for and listed on the website, but I didn't read, I didn't check it, and then when the wood arrived, it was a surprise, and I felt cheated and hurt. But then I just went online and I was like, oh, so it actually says there that the actual measurements are different, but I just didn't read truly. So my bad. And then I was like, okay, it was my fault. What do I do from here? And even though I had to like pay $50 to get this wood shipped, and the wood is not cheap either, and like I don't have a car, so what I ended up having to do is go by bus. And the great thing is that I didn't have to bring these 2 pieces of wood that I needed on the bus, measuring 8 feet each one, but I was able to get it cut, and I brought like a huge bag from, it's blue, from another massive retailer of furniture, you probably know it, and this huge bag was able to carry all the things nicely on the bus, and I was very happy. But yeah, this is where I'm right now. I also like, I thought I had enough screws, but the screws I had were too thin for what I needed. Like I need to stick 2 3/4 inch pieces of wood together, and the nails I had were like way too short for that. So I went and bought a bunch, and I needed to know how many I needed, and I counted like 100, and that was kind of like a rough and like conservative estimate. So I bought 100 nails that I needed that are like 1.25 inches, and I think they're gonna be good enough for what I need them. At least I hope so. And that's it right now, because okay, I will show you. But basically, to bring this piece on the bus, I had to get it cut into pieces, but I thought, okay, it's not gonna matter much because I can just stick them. I'm gonna have a bar in the middle that is gonna make it like irrelevant that this is divided, but there's still a hole in there that I need to fix, and I decided to fix it with this other piece of wood that I had from a different project, and it's not the same type of wood as this project. I am using maple for my couch, so that it is as non-toxic as possible, but also like hardwood, it will not chip easily. This one broke from a crate. At least I think it's not balsa wood, it doesn't feel as squishy. Of course, it's probably like pine or spruce, which is a type of pine anyway. So it's less sturdy, but like I literally just need to fill in these. And does it fit? It kind of does. So I made the hole bigger now, but anyway, I think I'm just gonna stick it on an end over here somewhere. No, it's probably better to put it in the center, because it's more spongy, it can actually like affect how sturdy this thing is. Okay, so I'm actually gonna embed it there, and probably just with the varnish make sure that there's no spaces in between. What I am trying to decide on too is if I make this easy to pull apart together by just using screws, or if I like also use wood glue, because the wood glue, of course, like it's gonna make the wood not be able to come apart. But when it comes for time for us to move, this couch will like just be harder to move, because it's just gonna be like one hard slab. And what I can do is make the back part easy to detach, so that I don't have to worry, at least about the back part. And then this is kind of like gonna be the size of a door, and then we just have kind of like a door, and then like the back rail is gonna be a rail to hold the pillows in place for the back, to lean the back on. Anyway, I have 3 pieces like this. One is gonna be here, another one in the center, and another one in the edge. And I got a second one here today. No, this one actually I had it here in here. But if I needed to bring like a piece like this on the bus, it's gonna be 6 feet. I was like, no, this is gonna be too difficult. So I split it in half, and I decided to put it here. And then the one that I had here, I put towards the edge now, so that it looks nice and thicker, at least from one side, and the front of the couch, and then also from the sides. So only from the back is going to be revealed that like the general thickness of this is just like 3/4 and not like 1.5 inch. But yeah, it's a little warped already, but hopefully this gets helped by the screwing into place. Was able to help me cut this piece. It was like an 8 feet one into 14 inches pieces. 14-inch pieces. They're gonna be for the back, and then these are the other two that I'm gonna use. And then over there there's like the rail, and one of them is gonna be used for the back and the other one is gonna be for the sides. Yeah, so this is where I am right now.